Hi guys, Nutnfancy again, out in the middle of the desert in the western US on a beautiful starlit evening. Temperature is about 75 degrees. It's just a beautiful night, as long as the rattler doesn't kind of sneak up on me. I'll be watching for that. Anyways, I'm demonstrating, this will be an addendum video to some tabletop reviews I will eventually get to on the Fenix lights, the Fenix brand lights, which I think currently are probably the best lights out there for the money. No kidding. This one is L2d Q5 light, and I have on top of it the light attachment, the cone, light cone, that attaches to the top of the light, like you can see. And I've used a lot of these types of attachments over the years on different lights, and this is the first one, honestly, I think, that really transforms a light into a lantern. I've seen a lot of other hokey ideas that just didn't work, and I think it's because the light that it attached to just didn't have the horsepower. But with this light, and again, the L2d Q5 just runs on 2 AA batteries. It's nothing, you know, eccentric there running it. It's just regular AA batteries. But the digital regulation and the CREE LEDs, which are super high quality and super bright and efficient with the circuitry, they just throw out a lot of beam. And right now I'm in the low mode of the L2d Q5. If I tap the back of it, I'm going to go higher, and look at the light that throws out. Even more. And I'm going to go ahead and stand in front of here so you can see how stupid I look for one. But that is a lot of light to be thrown out. And then it'll blink telling me I'm at the end of my cycle. So there's the lowest mode of the L2d Q5, next highest, and next highest. And it gets even better. I'm not even in turbo mode yet. But look at the illumination. I mean, this is like basically the lanterns I've used backpacking for years. I'm talking like a Coleman lantern. This is equivalent, what I'm looking at here, to probably a 60-watt light bulb. I'm just guessing, but that's what I see. And the beautiful thing about doing this in a desert environment like I'm in is I got no exterior lights. It's just a perfect environment to test these lights. Now let's go to turbo mode. That's turbo mode. Now it's probably, maybe that's around the 60-watt category. And I'm already attracting moths. They dig it. They're like, whoa, lights in the middle of the desert. Look at this guy right here. Anyways, very impressive and useful technology, this L2d Q5 by Fenix Lights. Impressive. I'll do a tabletop review of it, but I wanted to show you that light cone. It's outstanding. Also, while we're at it, let's go ahead and test this light out with the target that's behind me that you've been seeing in the other videos as well. You'll get a good idea of what its capabilities are. Let me come out of turbo mode, take the light cone off, and go to a mid mode. Now, I'll probably talk about this in tabletop. You'll get used to how the functionality works on these Fenix lights. They're a little bit complicated at first of how to get which brightness level in what way. It basically involves tapping the rear of the switch. And here we are, and this, unbelievably, is a AA flashlight. Let me say that again. This is a AA flashlight. Amazing. And the cool thing is that digital circuitry, we can throw in batteries that are maybe half-lifed, and it will maximize them, still throw out a beam that's equivalent to what you're seeing now. The circuitry on these Fenix lights is just amazing. Let's go to turbo mode now. And I rotate my bezel to the left counterclockwise, and that's turbo mode. Now, it wasn't a huge difference, but again, the batteries I have in here are about half-lifed, to be honest. I just pulled them out of the drawer, and they've been used in another device. And then we're looking at that target, by the way, is about 20 yards away in the pitch black desert here. And then off on the left, there in the distance, you can see that tree at 100 yards away. And this was the E2D, saying that right? Yeah, the L2d Q5 light. The nomenclature on these Fenix lights, to be honest with you, is just friggin' confusing. I had to look twice. There's that target again. Then if I tap it again, I can go to strobe mode. Very nice. This would be another good option to put on the end of your gun if the money is tight. I really like to have the strobe mode to disorientate an opponent. I think it's effective, and it's been proven as such by police officers around the country. That's just wicked. All we need now is some Donna Summer playing and we are in business. Wicked. So we go to turbo mode with a L2d Q5, and then if I rotate clockwise, then I go back to the dimmer modes. Tap again, and that's really a nice feature that we can cycle through those different levels of brightness depending on what our task is. Our task might not require full brightness, as is often the case. It almost is too much with these very powerful CREE or Luxeon LED lights. So it's nice to have that option to tap out, so to speak. Man, that's cool. Very nice light. Around $50. A little bit more, a little bit less, and that is an amazing value. You'll see on my tabletop review all the accessories and stuff included. Anyways, this is a L2d Q5. What can we throw against it? Let's compare it against its bigger brother. Actually, not really bigger. It's just running on different power cells, and that's the Fenix P3 Delta. Let's see how that does. So this was an L2d Q5, and I'll turn that off, and here we go with the P3 Delta. This is a shorter light, however it's thicker in circumference due to its wider battery source. That is a CR123 lithium battery, and this one, L2D, runs on AA's. But this is in turbo mode, and as I've shown in other videos, that's pretty freaking bright. So let's compare it against turbo mode with L2D. Again, you got to understand, that's 2 AA batteries, guys, running that. That is amazing. L2D, P3D. So sometimes it's hard to tell from video exactly what we're seeing and how to make sense of it. So let me break it down to you. The P3D is a brighter light and it's more effective, but not by a large amount. And I think the L2D throws maybe a little bit more concentrated beam. You can see it on the right hand side. Here we go with the P3D. But the P3D does more light flooding, i.e. it illuminates a very broad area. It is a better light, but not by much. I would say maybe 15% better. That's just an arbitrary number I pulled out. But this L2D is an amazing light. It'd be a great urban survival kit light, and I'll talk to that in future videos. Subscribe and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Amazing, and it's lightweight, and I really like how ergonomic it is. Of course, I'm kind of bleeding over to my tabletop review, but you get a good idea of the different modes and capabilities of these two lights. P3 Delta on the left, L2d Q5 on the right hand side. If I tap it, go to the strobe mode. Those are Fenix lights in the middle of the desert by Nutnfancy. Man, it's a beautiful night. Great night to be testing flashlights, especially in this environment. It gives you a great idea of the beam dispersion and the capabilities of all these lights. Whew, it's been a long day. I gotta go. Nutnfancy. Stay tuned. More sometime.